This is about a $30 sprinkler that I bought on Amazon. I have a large yard and I've seeded it. It's September time. I've overseeded the yard. I don't have sprinklers and I need to get some water. I need to get the seeds germinate before the seasons really change. So this is my unboxing and review of a $30, I call it a budget, right, sprinkler from Amazon. It's a tripod based sprinkler. Here it is. I've not opened this at all yet, so this is first opportunity. I've tried two sprinklers before, ones that are just sit on the ground. One was completely plastic, one was a bit of plastic, bit of metal, and the plastic one failed after about 2 days. Okay, so we have in here, so this like a thread seal tape. I'm not entirely sure what that's for yet, but let's see what else I've got. So this is the actual sprinkler attachment itself. Whoops. I'm gonna try and put this together for you as well, show you how easy or difficult it is to assemble. So there we go. It's I call it the sprinkler head. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. And this is the tripod. We're done. That's it. So actually, I just have two pieces. That's it. So I'm going to go out there on a whim and say assembly should not be very difficult. So it does come with a set of instructions here. So these are my instructions. I can't imagine they're going to be too difficult to assemble, but yeah, let's check this out. So this is the setup, pretty straightforward. Screw the sprinkler head onto the top of the tripod. So that's going to go in there. Second part is to screw the assembly connector to the water inlet under the tripod extension, right? Which is this for me, but it's already attached, so I just have to take off the wrapping so I can attach the pipe to the end and then literally hook up to a water supply. And then I need to determine the settings that I want for the sprinkler head. So I have the ability to adjust the radius between 0 and 300 degrees. And I can also adjust the arc as well, so how far I want to do it. The recommendation is that you have the legs as wide as possible for stability. So loosen this and there we go. So even at this height, I can make this wider. And I can raise this as well if I need to get it over a hedge or a bush, which is what it says here. So yeah, so my next step is I'm going to unwrap, just take the wrapping off this, and then we're going to go outside to my yard and let's get this thing working. So here's the sprinkler in the yard. So I've set it up on the tripod. This is about 2.5 feet high at its maximum height. Haven't connected it yet, but I mentioned a minute ago that I've tried two different sprinklers. So tried this guy first, right? This was like $10 on Amazon. Hey, if this floats your boat, I'll put the link in the description below. I'll put the link to this one as well. For me, this wasn't sufficient. I don't have super water pressure, and it's supposed to spin, and it just, the water pressure wasn't high enough to make this thing spin. It did for like a day, and then it just, it didn't succeed. So because it wasn't spinning, I wasn't getting a full circumference of water distribution. This one was the other one I had. Actually, I really like this one, but I had to keep coming out into the yard every 20 minutes to move it around, and I just want to be able to turn something on for a while. And as I say, like this is about an acre, so I want to be able to just turn this on, leave it for a lot longer to cover the lawn. So yes, okay, so my next step is to connect this and let's get this running. So as you noticed a minute ago when I screwed this in, I did not use that Teflon tape, and that's basically because I want to give it a go first and make sure it works, and then if everything's good, then I'll put this on when I definitely know I'm not going to return it. But Fingers crossed this is going to work out pretty well. So as I say, I have different ways to adjust, right? It's just a clip here. The leg comes down, and these are about 1 foot long each, but obviously it's at an angle, so it's not quite 3 feet high, maybe 2.5 feet. All right, let's get going. So make sure I've got that in pretty tight on top. I'm happy with that, I think. We'll find out. Connect the hose adjustment. So another thing with the plastic rotary sprinkler is I lost a lot of water at the point where the hose attaches to the sprinkler. It did not give a snug attachment, so that didn't help as well with like losing water pressure that was going to come out the sprinkler. All right, moment of truth. Let's turn this on. I have no idea which way it's going to go. It's 360 degree, so I guess I'm adjusting a couple of things on here, and I'll run those through with you. Okay, so these two things is how I adjust the radius. So one is, oh no, they're both movable actually. So if I have them close together like this, the sprinkler head is not going to move at all. If I put them opposite each other, I have a 180, half a circle radius. Obviously, if I push them right around to the other side, they still take, and I can actually overlap them, right? They still take up space, and that's why I can't quite get a 360, but that's your 300 degree radius for the water. Obviously, it's coming right at me in the middle there. So let's separate these. I'm going to go with a 180 degree radius, and I want it going in that far direction. So let's move that around there, and there we go. So one more thing I noticed, that actually I can put that maximum rotation on as well as putting these together. If I pull this up, I can lift this pin out the way, and then it's not going to hit on those controllers. I don't want 300 degree rotation, so I'm going to put that back in. So use that to set my parameters on my spray. Okay, and then this is where the water's coming out here. Yeah, so this screw is going to help affect the arc and the distance essentially that I'm watering as well. So now I'm going to turn it on, see how we do. Water is flowing, and my sprinkler is on. So I have it on the maximum arc, which is actually great for me, but it's this screw here. So if I twist this into that line of the water, it starts to affect the distance that I'm getting on the spray. Probably reduced it by about 1/3 right there. I am getting a lot of water coming down here. I don't know if that's normal, and it may be because I did not put on my tape. So I'm going to add that now and see how this changes, because I know that even with this, I'm happy with what I'm getting here. My tape is on here, so now I'm going to screw this in, and then I'm actually going to get a wrench and tighten this up with a wrench as well. Make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, so I'm up and running here. I have huge coverage, so I really like this. It does take a little bit of setup. So I have it on the edge of my lawn, and this side slightly raised, so I had to shorten one side of the tripod just a little bit. And then as this rotates, I'm playing around with the parameters here to make sure it is literally getting that fence. It's probably going a little further than I want, so I'm going to adjust that. I'm just going to bring it around to there. So hopefully this time it's going to stop. Let's see. If it doesn't, I have a problem. So it has stopped, but it has not gone back again. Is that just because I made the change? So I have it working pretty well this side. It just about hits my barn there. I can see the soil getting damp. So everything's working pretty well. I just want to make sure it does. So it changed direction there. I didn't get quite as far as I want. So a little bit of setup required, but it's rotating. So I'm probably going to leave that on for a while and then come and move it. So I just make sure I get full coverage. So I did put the Teflon tape on here. I have a little bit of water flowing down, not as much as before, but most of it's actually coming out of the top. And as I pause this, I can see that there's not a whole lot of water flowing down. It's splashed from this guy. So I think I just have to live with that. But this is tight down here as well, which was a problem I had on my previous sprinklers. All right, all in all, pretty happy with this. I'll come out a little bit and move it. There's a link in the description or somewhere up here or over here if you want to buy it to where I found this on Amazon. If this is useful for you, give me a thumbs up, follow me if you want, subscribe, whatever it's called. And happy sprinkling, seeding, growing your lawn. Thank you.